Hello everyone, my name is Adit Razadi. Today I will be presenting the Uber case study for strategies and policies. What is Uber? Uber is a mobile app-based ride-sharing service business. In 2009, Uber was founded in San Francisco by Garrett Camp and Travis Kalanick. Being an affordable on-demand car service is one of Uber's main attraction to metropolitan city population. Since it started, Uber now has operations in 785 metropolitan areas worldwide. Topics we covered today will include how will traditional taxi companies respond to Uber entering the industry? How will Uber handle their competitors? Would they serve as a strong threat to the company's growth? Was the private valuation of the company reasonable? How big could the company continue to grow? How profitable would Uber be considering their current status quo? Could Uber grow the way Amazon had, starting in one category, books, before branching out into other sectors? Uber experiences resistance during the company's growth stage. Uber's rapid growth in the transportation industry was met with, some might say, harsh hindrance from their competitors. Traditional taxicab companies stated that Uber might not be legal. Some of the regulatory questions arise about Uber's legality to operate. For one, Uber does not have a taxi license like a traditional taxicab company would. The personally owned cars used by Uber drivers does not have the equivalent insurance coverage as those designed specifically for taxicab drivers. The combination of these two factors results in Uber's lower operating cost, which allows them to charge lower prices on their services compared to standard taxicab rates. This results in taxi dispatchers having concern of Uber being a threat of their way of making a living. In addition, the strong resistance from taxicab companies towards Uber are shown through multiple cease and desist orders against Uber. For example, in New York, Uber tried to expand operations to New York's iconic yellow cab company by introducing Uber T. Uber T is an additional feature in the Uber app that allows users to order yellow cabs through the app. The Taxi and Limousine Commission stepped in and sided against Uber. Another example is shown in the picture. In London, England, taxi drivers block roadways, causing major congestions in protest of Uber. The city of Brussels, Belgium, formed an outright ban on Uber. In Berlin, Germany, they won an injunction against Uber from operating. In 2018, Uber was able to operate in 4 German cities. In regards to competition, since Uber started and grew, several companies followed their footsteps in the ride-sharing business. Uber's considerable competition due to their similarity in operations includes Lyft, Curb, and Sidecar. Now, while traditional cab companies are still there, their impact on Uber's pool of clients are not as affected by the prior 3 I mentioned. Now that we have identified Uber's considerable competition, how will Uber handle their competitors? Would they serve as strong threat? Well, Uber pioneered the mobile app-based ride-sharing service. This translates to several competitive advantages in the industry, which includes brand loyalty, since Uber is the first to jump in the market segment and the people noticed. Uber is also more widespread than Lyft or other ride-sharing services. While these services are largely similar, there's one big difference. Uber is available in 84 countries around the globe, while Lyft is mostly only been available in the USA. Increasing sales volume before competitor is another important competitive advantage. Last but not least, an in-depth knowledge of the industry resulted from their experience, being one of the firsts. Before we move on, I'd like to touch on taxicab companies. Can they still keep up? What measures can traditional taxicab companies do to compete with rideshare app companies? Well, for one, enhance technology support, such as app-based booking services, Apple Pay, or even a simple credit card payment kiosk. As we know, some taxicab companies still only take cash from their clients. Acknowledging these seemingly minor improvements goes a long way to reach out to the current technologically advanced age customers. And back to the questions about Uber. Was the private valuation reasonable? How big could the company continue to grow? How profitable would it be? Here's Uber's current status quo. Their CEO is Dara Khosrowshahi. The company's estimated value is 100 to 120 billion US dollars. They're serving about 15 million trips per day on average. According to the case study, Uber operates in 65 countries. On their updated website, they currently claim 70 countries and over 600 cities, 75 million riders, and 3 million drivers. The company went public in April of 2019. Uber stockholders has not been the happiest with their purchase lately. The latest word from Uber about their stock prices is that their self-driving technology in the future will help boost their stock prices. Could Uber grow the way Amazon had, starting in one category before branching out into other sectors? Since their startup, Uber has attempted and succeeded at multiple expansions of their ride-sharing business. Uber's expansion to other services they offer includes Uber Eats, the food service delivery. Just like Uber, it's a peer-to-peer based service. Uber Freight, the truck and freight services. Shippers can create and tender loads with a few clicks, reducing the amount of time and effort needed to book a shipment. Then there's Uber Business, allows for logging business trips, based off the standard Uber app with added feature to gather data needed for business trip logs. Uber Health helps patients and caregivers get to the care they need. The procedure starts with a healthcare associate books a ride on demand or for a future appointment, using the Uber Health dashboard to seamlessly coordinate rides for those in need. Then the passenger is contacted by text or call with their trip details at the time the ride is booked and once again when the ride is on the way to pick them up. Lastly, the passenger is picked up and dropped off on schedule. No additional action on behalf of the healthcare associate is required to get them to and from care. Then there's Uber Pool. User can get matched with other riders heading the same direction and get a cheaper fare. To recap my presentation, Uber is a mobile app-based ride-sharing service business. Uber faced a shaky start during their growth stage, facing a strong resistance from both the government and their main competitor, the taxicab service. As the brand reaches its maturity, Uber is now on top of the rideshare industry, paving way for companies such as Lyft, Curb, and Sidecar, while maintaining their customers' brand loyalty and other competitive advantages they have. The company's lead produces an expansion into other segments of the market, such as food delivery, carpooling, and freight services to name a few. Thank you everyone for your attention. I hope my presentation provided you with ample information regarding my case study on Uber.